Hello and welcome to the next video on depression. In the previous video I talked about how relationship difficulties cause stress, which can in turn lead to depression. I would like to mention today a little something about loss and what happens after a divorce or relationship breakup. Loss is an emotion we feel when we no longer have something, whether that something is a person in our lives, a pet, a routine, a physical material thing like a house or car, or a lifestyle. It signifies the cessation of something we once had and that we no longer have. And this is where that sense of loss comes in. Quite often this is something we see during a bereavement when someone has actually passed away and the people left behind have to deal with the loss of that loved one. That same feeling occurs even if no one has died and is not confined to losing people, but also to losing other things. Changing from one thing to another also involves a sense of loss, during which time we have to come to terms with whatever the new situation is. It is a time of adjustment and it's not always easy. Following a relationship ending, one of the biggest things to deal with is that sense of loss that often accompanies change. After a relationship is ended, partners tend to move away. They move to different homes, often in different areas, sometimes as far away as they can get from each other. Assets like cars and furniture have to be sold and the proceeds divided between the divorced parties. I know that material things can be replaced, but people do form attachment bonds to their things and feel a sense of comfort being surrounded by things they have acquired during a particular period of their lives. Parting with these things can be very painful. Pets are another big issue. Quite often, couples who have pets but no children will fight over custody of their beloved pet just as they would over children, and the pet becomes the focus of their bitterness and anger. Nobody wants to share custody of their pet, so one partner ends up with the pet while the other is left to mourn its loss. Routines, something we take for granted until we no longer have them, are precious to us. There is comfort in a routine, which tells us we are all right. We can go about our daily lives as per usual, and we can enjoy all the moments associated with that routine. Part of that routine is often the evening process, where you come home from work, start dinner, your partner shows up, you eat together, watch a bit of TV, chat about your day, and so on. It's a nice little comforting and comfortable routine, and not having it anymore can leave a person feeling a great sense of loss. And it can be a while before they are able to form a new routine and get comfortable with it. Missing an ex-partner is just as bad as missing your old routine or your old comforts. Irrespective of how badly the relationship ended, people often miss their partners once the anger and hatred is forgotten and when old memories of better times resurface. Missing your youth can also create another difficult emotional state. Even young adults still in the prime of their lives have told me how much they miss their school days and how they wish they'd taken more advantage of their youth before the responsibility of adulthood set in and they were forced to grow up and make big decisions. In fact, I've worked with quite a few young people of university-going age recently who have felt a sense of despair at leaving their younger years behind. They don't want to do it. They know they have to adjust to their new adult lives, but the adjustment period is quite often tense, disappointing, and challenging. A lot of them also don't feel that they have sufficient support to go through these stages. For these reasons, it is a good idea to prevent rather than cure. Don't be in too much of a hurry to grow up and bypass your youth. Don't rush to give up on something like a relationship before you've had a chance to identify why and whether it is the right decision. Think about something carefully before you do it, and if you're unsure, seek the advice of someone you know and respect, or the advice of an outside source who will give you unbiased guidance. Don't just give up on a career you've worked hard for. And if you feel the need for a change from that career, perhaps make sure you have something to replace it with. We often recognize the value of something only after we have lost it. And that loss can be something very difficult to come to terms with. You can replace some things, but you can't replace all things, and you certainly can't replace people. you will find yourself having to contend with new things and new people, and the newness may throw you completely. We live in a throwaway society. I know that, I get that. But you don't have to subscribe to that. Try not to. Understand that relationships are precious, people are valuable, and that our carefully worked out routines and procedures are comforting and familiar and unique to us. So don't be in too much of a hurry to give these things away. Fix an issue before it becomes a problem, and you will have prevented rather than curing. And you won't have to go through the intensity of feelings that loss brings either. So save yourself some heartache, bring yourself some happiness in the long run. Thank you for watching. Until the next video, take care and see you soon. Bye.